Greta Van Fleet. Now, I feel like I know that name, but I don't think like I'm cool enough to know who they are, if that makes sense. uh Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam Scott-Thorne and I am a vocal coach based in Glasgow. Now, if you'd like to meet and explore your voice a little more, you can find me on sstvocals.com. You can also find me on Patreon and various other social media platforms, and I'll put the handles down below and over there. Over there. Just simple scales these days. We have fallen from glory. Now, if you'd like to consider becoming a patron, you have access to things like early release of reactions, you can fast track reactions, become a reaction, there's special roles on my Discord server, and you have access to all sorts of bonus content like outtakes and my Vocal Anatomy 101 series, so consider becoming a patron and help shape my channel. Okay, this one has found its way into my rotation. It was in a playlist saying, do this. I don't know where the suggestion came from, but we're going to do it. It's Greta Van Fleet, Light My Love, live. Not familiar with Greta Van Fleet, but I do recognize the name. So this is going to be fun. A new one. Let's go and do it. Wow. What?
Flames glowing bright as the sun. Deeper than oceans you run. Watch as our world has begun.
What? Wow, okay, this guy has got a very, very unusual voice. It is super, super high placed. That larynx must be like ridiculously high. Now, your larynx basically dictates kind of the character of your voice. So if I was to say, hello, my name's Sam, in a mid, it would be like this. If I was to raise it, hello, my name's Sam, you hear it gets a lot brighter. If I was to lower it, hello, my name's Sam, it gets lower. Now, if you take that on one note, you can get a real differentiation between the tones and characters of your voice. This guy, I feel, sits very, very high indeed, and it gets that kind of brightness in tone. But there's a lot more going on, so let's keep listening and see what happens.
Your mind is a street of colors, extending beyond our sky. Land of infinite wonders, beauty like you from here now. Light my love. Light my love.
Ah! I love, 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 love this guy's voice. That is insane. So, one thing that jumped out there when he did that really high part there in the chorus is that his tongue sits very, very high too. Now, that will stabilize your larynx. So if you want to move up or down, to get that tongue staying still allows a lot of control. So he really, really knows what he's doing there. There's a lot of texture coming through this voice as well. I feel like it's a head voice, which is when your vocal folds thin out. So it's not as intense as your chest voice would be, where you're getting two layers of vibration. Thin is when you get one. But he's doing loads of interesting things to make it sound really, really intense. I think that kind of gravelly sound is coming from a little bit of vocal fry. That's where you let your vocal folds slacken slightly. So At the very bottom end of my range would be I feel like he's pulling it right up, and as he's singing, he's allowing a tiny bit of fry to come through, which is making a little crackle on his vocal. It is insane. I mean, I could be wrong. That's where I feel like that sound's coming from, but let's keep listening. I also love the outfits.
I have seen pictures of time, frames still in motion and fine. Red revolution and line, hate bound by fear will unwind. Your mind is a stream of colors, extending beyond the sky.
Okay, there could be, or there probably is, some nasal twang in here and some oral twang. Now, oral twang is where your epiglottis creates a little chamber above your vocal folds. It allows that air to condense and makes your vocal folds thicker, even if you're singing it in a thin fold phonation. It creates a very intense flow between that little tiny space, and that in turn creates a more intense frequency from your vocal. Easiest way to do that is to make a baby sound. And you can almost hear there's a little bit of that tone already in his voice. So I feel like he's using that with other kind of tones there. The reason it jumped out to me is because when he goes into that super heady place for a split second, he loses a bit of that twang and then he drops back into it. So it's definitely a little bit of twang coming from somewhere. If it's nasal, then that would dampen the sound slightly, but you still get that kind of buttery sound. So I feel like there's a little bit of that too. He is just next level. Wow.
A land of infinite wonders, a billion light years from here right, my love.
I also love how he's not afraid to open his mouth on some of these vowels like that. Ha! He really opens up onto that sound, and it gives you a much more rounded out vowel. Try it if you're gonna and then open your mouth on that. You just get more bang for your buck if you open up onto some of these vowels. It's not going to work with every style and for every voice type, but try it. If you're losing a little bit of that extra oomph in your vocal, open your mouth on some of these vowels and see what happens. You might be surprised. Now, I could be wrong, but it looks a little bit like he's anchoring onto some of these sounds. Now, your anchors are in your neck and your torso, and they basically create a stable framework for your larynx to work within. So when you're doing some extreme ends of your voicing, that your larynx isn't working too hard and the effort is distributed kind of evenly throughout your body. You can kind of see he goes, "Hey," and he lets that kind of effort spread into his shoulders and down his back, and through his kind of chest area as well. There's probably also some stuff going on up in his neck and his head with his sternocleidomastoids, for example, these big rope-like muscles, and it all just goes hand in hand in helping him get to that more intense voice place without wrecking his voice. Very, very good. Now you see the difference here. He is keeping that lip shape uniformly. Because he wants it all to kind of blend really seamlessly from one vowel into the other. So this is an example of where that open shape wouldn't lend itself well, because it'd be it'd be too different. So he's keeping that lip shape quite still, and just allowing the other articulators, like your tongue, for example, to come in and change that vowel shape without having the distinction coming in through from the lips. It's great. that was insane. That was nuts. I should not go into stuff like this blind, because you could hear a lot of texture, that kind of lovely light gravel coming through at the end there. I think that's coming from his false vocal folds, which sit above your true vocal folds, and if they are not retracted, then they can interrupt the airflow as you're singing, and you get that lovely textured sound. Just amazing. I want to see a duet between Greta Van Fleet and LP. If that exists, I mean, I'm going to go and look for it, but if it exists, let me know, because those two voices together would be like, there's not a word for it, is what I'm trying to say. It would be mind-blowing. Oh, there is a word for it. Damn. So I hope you liked that reaction. If you did, please give it a like and a thumbs up down below. And if you want to see more from me, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and anytime I have new content, you will be the first to know. So I guess all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for joining me. And how are we going to buy this one? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So I guess all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed the show. But please sub before you go. Bye. That was really simple, wasn't it? Anyway, bye.